You're not stuck because you don't understand the problem. You're stuck because understanding it feels like solving it, and it isn't. You've done the work. You traced your patterns back to your childhood. You know exactly why you procrastinate, why you people please, why you sabotage a thing right when it starts to work. You get a little traction and then you resort to moving back to where you used to behave. You could give a lecture on your own dysfunction, and you named it, you journaled about it, you wrapped it up with a little bow, and your life looks exactly the same. And here's the uncomfortable truth that I came here to tell you. You cannot think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into one. And if that offends you, it's probably because you've been sitting with your own head hanging decorations inside of a burning house instead of walking right out the door. You're going to understand today that awareness alone is the most dangerous place to get stuck at. And you'll never feel ready. And the embarrassing small steps are the first steps that you actually have to take to change your life. Now, last time I told you, before the doing, you have to be. We talked about the do, have principle. And some of you are saying, well, which one is it? Is it the doing? Is it the being? Well, I'm here to tell you, it's both. You don't think your way into being, you act your way into being. Becoming isn't something that you figure out in your head. It's something that you build by small actions that nobody sees. It's the seeds that you plant in the dark. And that those seeds are not planted through thought. They're planted through deeds. They're planted through actions. Now, let me say something that's going to probably sting a little bit. You can't understand your fear. You can understand your fear completely and still be paralyzed by it. You can name exactly what your insecurities are and still be insecure. You can see your own patterns and know them like a roadmap and still keep repeating them every single day. Why? Because they're familiar. And familiar always seems safe. See, building awareness is the real work. Now, I'm not knocking it. It does take real work to be aware of who you are and why you do the things you do. But you can't change what you can't see. And so the seeing is also what matters. But hear me, awareness doesn't count as change in itself. It's only the opening of the door. It's only the way you see the possibility. It's only the window that you see. It's not until you walk through it do you actually change. See, where so many people get trapped is their thinking is exhausting. So they've been thinking and thinking and thinking, and they feel like they made so much progress because they spent hours in their own head. And they've done all the hard mental labor. And you keep feeling like you've accomplished something. But nothing's moved. The needle hasn't changed. You just rearranged the furniture in a room that's still on fire. And here's the part that nobody wants to say out loud, that nobody wants to tell you to your face. Getting stuck in awareness is the worst thing that you can be. And it's worse than not knowing or never knowing at all. Knowing the problem and not doing anything is worse than not knowing the problem at all. Because you're painfully aware of exactly what the problem is, and you're still not doing anything about it. You've got full sight and zero motion. That's not freedom. That's not transformation. That's just a prison where you can see every link in your own chains. You don't get free by understanding your shackles. You get free by taking them off. Now, we would all love to get credit for just knowing better. But the saying is, once you know better, you do better. Watch how this plays out in real life. You can tell yourself that you're going to be more honest, and eventually you're going to have to actually tell someone the truth about something, and they're not going to take it well. You can decide you're done people pleasing, but eventually somebody's going to have to walk away disappointed with your answer. And you're going to have to be okay with it. You can talk about discipline all day long, but eventually you're going to have to do the hard thing on a morning that you don't feel like doing it at all. That's what real discipline, that's the gap. And no amount of insight can cross over that gap. It only takes action. This is exactly what James was talking about. This is what he was getting at when he said, faith without works is dead. Not faith without understanding, not faith without good intentions, works. Because belief that never shows up in your body isn't real belief. It's honestly, it's just an opinion. There's a lot of people that have an opinion on what they believe, but their actions show truly what they believe or lack thereof. You can be fully persuaded and still completely not move at all. You can feel like or believe that you really trust and have faith in something, but it's until you move that Scripture calls that faith dead. So stop grading yourself on how much you know or what you know. Start grading yourself on what you did and what you're doing. Now, here's the excuse that's hiding underneath it all, that I'm not ready yet. That's an excuse that a lot of people like to take. And the thing about it is, you're never going to get ready for the next thing. You're never going to be ready. And this is why, when you think about it carefully, if you're ready for the next thing, then the next thing couldn't do what it was sent to do in your life. It couldn't do what it was designed to do in your life. Every opportunity, every hard lesson, every hard season that ever enters into your life is to transform you, to change you into something new. But if you're already ready for it, then it's not going to do what it's built for. It's going to serve no purpose. It's actually going to have no purpose at all. To why even do it if you're already ready doing it? So the next step is going to make you ready for the following step. And that step's going to make you ready for the following step after that. That's the whole design. You have to do it. Sometimes you're moving and you're not going to know the whole picture or how the whole plan is going to work out. You may have the end goal, but that's all you may have in mind. There's a line worth living by: the path that illuminates each step. You didn't know. You don't need 10 steps ahead of you. You're not supposed to have your whole path illuminated. This is why it says in Psalms, His word is a lamp unto my feet. It didn't say He's a lamp unto my horizon. A lamp unto your feet, it lights your footsteps. So all you're going to get is a light on the next step that you take. But the problem is, we want those floodlights that illuminate the whole entire journey. He gave you a lamp for one step at a time, which means that the more you move, the more you're going to have illuminated. But when you don't move at all that's illuminated is that next step that you have to take. You want the full clarity. But if you're not moving, you're withholding obedience and calling it preparation. That's a lie. So, what do I do is the question. And here's where most people set themselves to fail, because they're waiting for that big first step, that grand thing that they need to do, something dramatic, something pivotal to change, like some kind of worthy moment has to come. And I'm telling you the truth, that's not what happens. Let me tell you about a man who would not leave his bedroom. He had a fear called agoraphobia, the fear of the outside, and because he was afraid of the unknown, afraid of what was going to happen to him. And so in his room, the dishes stacked up, trash stacked up, bags and bags of trash, all in his room. And he hadn't been out into the world in quite a long time because the world scared him. And so one day his mother came over and saw his apartment, and she decided that she was going to help. So one day she came and walked into his bedroom and she sat a vacuum cleaner down, and then she left. That was it. The next day she came and plugged the vacuum cleaner in. She didn't clean anything. She just plugged the vacuum cleaner in, and then she walked out. The next day she came back and she turned the vacuum cleaner on, nothing else, and she walked out. By the end of 30 days, the man had cleaned his entire room, and that he was out into the world, living the life that he used to live. What I want you to understand is those small steps. That's all it took. Plugging in the vacuum was the first step. It's a small step, and it feels like it's embarrassing at times, but sometimes you have to do the embarrassing, the unimpressive things, those small, minute things that seem like they're not going to matter. They don't change or move the needle at all. And in actuality, they do. They're grandiose. They're monumental in such a small thing because it's actually getting you to move forward. Maybe your first step in writing a book is not writing the book, but it's just buying the notepad. Maybe your first step in launching the business is not going to buy the building, but just opening an account. Your first step may be not to go out and buy thousands of dollars worth of equipment, but just using your phone and recording, using your phone and taking a picture. It may seem embarrassing, it may seem small, but underneath it all, I'm telling you, it's as big as turning the vacuum on. And next thing you know, the whole room is clean. You're out in the world. You're doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing because you took those small steps. Small steps are so important because you're usually not afraid of them. You may be embarrassed by them, but they're not afraid of them because they're small. The big steps, the grandiose things, are the things that you're afraid of. And that's what keeps you stuck. All work works. Whether it's working for you before it works, or working on you before it works for you, it all works. There's something happening when you act, but nothing happens when you don't act. Your brain isn't just listening to your thoughts. It's watching what you do and the way you move and the way you show up and the decisions that you make. Not the choices, the decisions that you make. And your mind reads all that as evidence and quietly updates that this is the person that you are. It thinks that, oh, I'm not just a person that says I'm going to do it. I'm a person that actually does the thing. When you think about falling asleep, You don't lay down and then wait to fall asleep before you start acting like you're sleeping. You start doing the things. You close your eyes. You turn off all the lights. You slow down your breathing. And before you know it, you drift off and you wake up the next day. You have to embody it first, and then reality follows. That's the pattern for everything. You don't just feel your way into things, you actually act your way. You don't feel your way into confidence, you act your way into confidence. The person I think about when I think about that particular thing is Gideon. And it's not a trick. I think of Gideon. God called Gideon a mighty man of valor while Gideon was hiding in a wine press, scared out of his mind. God spoke identity into him first and then told him to go. And Gideon didn't feel like he was valiant. He didn't feel like he was mighty. He didn't feel like he was a strong person. But he went anyway. And the going is what made him into what God already knew he was. Just going, just doing the action. You may not feel like you're ready today. And that's good. That's where you're supposed to be. That tells you you need to start. Even if you're not ready, the question is, am I still going to move? When you move, the catching is going to catch up to you. The becoming is going to catch up to you. But you have to move first. So let's go back into that burning house, that burning room that you keep on decorating and not leaving, not escaping. You don't understand the fire better. You have to walk through the door. You have to change your reality. And it's never through an epiphany and then things just automatically change. No, it's through doing the thing. It's through making the phone calls, through stepping on the stage. It's through the hard work and the hard conversations. Saying no without explaining yourself. Telling someone the truth, even though you know it's going to hurt their feelings. Paying the bill, even though you don't want to pay the bill. Doing the small, unglamorous things again and again and again until your mind believes that you're the person that does these things. Because you can't think your way into a new way of living. You have to live your way into a new way of thinking. So don't pick the big step, because you'll never take the big step. Pick the embarrassing small one. Take so many small ones that it feels like nothing is happening at all, and buy the notepad. Open the account. Press record. Take the picture. Plug in the vacuum. Do it, and do it today. Do it before this feeling wears off. And drop a comment in the comment section telling the embarrassing small thing that you are planning to take today or this week or whatever. Not the goal, not the whole picture, just the one first step that you're going to take. Share with someone who you know is stuck in the awareness trap. Someone who understands everything and still is not moving. Like and subscribe this video, and if it speaks to you, because every week we're going deeper into being who God actually made you to be. You'll never be ready. Take the step anyway. That's all I have. Until next time, I'm Minister Crush. Peace.